ating Regional Director na magiging kabahagi po ng pagbibigay sa atin ng mga valid, up-to-date na mga information and updates. So ngayong umaga po, kasabay naman po natin, dalawang platforms po ang ginagamit natin ngayon sa umagang ito. On-site, we have our media partners from Idol FM, Brigada News FM, Veritas FM, Bicol News Express, Saglit FM, UNTV, DCGV, and DWRL. At sa online naman po kasama natin ang ako, Bicol Online TV, Bicol.ph, radyo natin, GMA Bicol, DWRL, Philippine Daily Inquirer, Rappler, at 1FM and GMA Bicol. At kasama din po natin ang ating magiging partner din ng DepEd Regional Office 5, ang isang representative from the Philippine Information Agency, Regional Office 5, Ms. Karen. Good morning. Ayan po, so magpapatuloy po tayo sa ating pagbibigay ng mga updates. Ang una ko po sigurong tatawagin ay yung mga dumalo sa ating on-site press con. At nandito na po si Sir Lawrence ng DCGB.
Good morning po. Lawrence Persena po from DCGB. Good morning po sa Labos RD. Good morning po. Ang inon ko pong hapot sa DepEd, luarin po talaga su official start ng school year ta sa maabot na 2022 to 2023.
Thank you, Lawrence. Honestly, may paning official na memorandum issued ng Central Office as to when will be the opening of the next school year. Pero may present na po ang MANCOM and EXICOM sa current administration na supposed to be August 22. And hoping that the new secretary will issue that.
Okay po. Sa next question po ma'am, okay lang po. RD, may mga nagpapaabot man sa tuya in concern na mga katugangan tan maestro o maestra sa mga public schools na may kinaaraman po sa mga students na kumbaga pagkuksa ng day nagpapartisipar, kumbaga dainan in interest sa pag-aaral pero enroll sila, naka-register sila sa pag-aaral. Ano daw po RD kung dahil po ba ito pwede daw ibagsak ang mga siring kay itong mga estudyante?
Okay. Ako bilang man akong maestro, honestly, when I was a teacher, I was very strict and talagang medyo maiso sabi yung tanan. Pero before I finally decide na mag-taoning grade, I have to give time for our students na makakomply ka mga requirements kasi there are also factors to be considered kung ano nawawala ng gana sa paglaog o pag-eskwela. Yun ang hinigunta, not the current situation na talaga ng hilig. There must be reasons kung paano nawawalan siya ng gana. Inot na inot, inipagtios mo niyan, nadarapang pandemic. Ikaduwa, ining demand kang education na medyo iba na. You have to do research as in talagang kaipuhan na mag-adal. So, ang pakiulay ko sa mga maestro na yaon niya nagdadano, tawanin mo na ng time na makarecover ang sarong aki bago ka mo mag-decide na ibagsak o ipasa. Kumbaga sa aramon ang problema kang eskwela kasi usually pag mo yan inalalayan, yan ang sa kausa kung ano na nagkakaiba ng mga nagsusuicide. So habot na kaya na mangyari na ang eskwela na nag-suicide Ninhuli na daining nagtabang, nagintindi na tawo ni maestra o ni maestro. So I would advise na although we implement no read, no write, no read, no pass policy, but situation like this kay po maging caring kitang mga maestra na intindihon mo na. Kumbaga sa give time for them na makaulay as in maka-adjust na baka kaipuhan sa ng guidance kan sa tao para makarecover ang estudyante.
Opo, RD, pwede po ba ito maging grounds kan sa rong maestro o maestra na parang mapipinjente sa pag-report niya sa schools division office concern ining mga siring kayong bagay na estudyante na?
Ang kaipuhan man lang na i-report si mga grades na ginibon niya o kaya pagpasa kang mga itong qualified to graduate. So, para sa kuya, dapat tawan mo na yung panahon. Dahil man ini totally madidelay. Siguro pero kung ngunya sa agang graduation, ngunya mo lang naaraman na may problema ang aki. So, probably, you can also do something na muna. Maski malate ka mag-submit. Anyway, we can also, although this is not allowed for public schools na may conditional ang graduation. Kasi kami dapat fully comply ang requirements, but depende nga ni sa panahon. Ang panahon mo niyan, ang mga tao dahil problema. Kaya siguro we can squeeze a little our policies na pwede man na pagbigyan na muna ng time na makarecover. Araw kaya na sa kung magiging recommendation.
Opo, di isa nun yan po, RD, halimbawa kung dahil nakapasa or halimbawa may nakakapidgenting sa rokaki, okay lang po pala dito. Na dahil makapasa kumbaga may failing rate, yun aking ini.
I know, kung may bagsak ka, kung may ka nakabasa, dapat may ka man ipasahar.
Okay.
What I mean is that you give time, assistance to the child needing assistance. Kaya nga rin kami harap kani, may learning recovery. Pag-abot sa opening, mahihiling mo naman mga grade 1 na ngayon, ay grade 2 na ngayon. But in our assessment, kaipuhan nila ng tabang. So, may iwa kami ng 8-week contextualized curriculum sa itataon na. After 2 or 3 months, dapat nakabasa na so that they can continue with their grade level. Yun. Ganyan, ang sarong maestro kasi nahihiling mo man ang eskwela mo for 10 months, nahihiling mo yan kung ano talaga yan na eskwela niyan nag-aadal o dahil. Diyan mo mahihiling na kung dahil siya nag-aadal, from the very start, you can already detect. Kasi ang mga maestro, maestra, karoon yan mga NBI na aaraman kung si Isay dyan ang dahil nag-aadal, kung si Isay ang nagkukupya, o kung si Isay ang nagpapakaya. So, kaya po, natawaan ako tayo including assistance prior to the graduation or end of school year activities.
Okay po, RD. So, pwede ba pantulo na lang?
Kahit 5.
Kahit 5. Okay. Last na lang po, RD Tabi. Kumusta po sa facility kan mga school buildings na ganyan sa pagsatuyan na pag-implementar kan expansion kan face-to-face?
Okay. Ang DepEd Bicol naka-receive ng 1.2 billion for the repair of classrooms kaya itong mga inagihan ni Typhoon Rolly, Typhoon Ulysses, sararo na. And the big bulk of the money went to Catanduanes na almost 600 million. So we expect that they nakapakatanduanes from the time na this year. We expect na repair na si iba. The rest of the division, medyo mababa ang budget. May 100 million, less than 100. So only few ang pwedeng ma-repair. So in short, partially, we pray that 1.2 billion ay nagamit na for the repair ng mga classrooms. classrooms. Bako magkaya kaming region ang nag-implement mga division offices. So far, aron po kaya. And aside from the budget that was given by DepEd, igwa man yung mga initiative ang LGU, local government units, na nagpa-repair, as in ang mga school heads naghanap man ng mga paagi na ma-repair, pasaro-saroan sa inyong mga classrooms. But generally, ikaw kang mahihiling na dahil pa na-touch ang classrooms. Actually, aagihan ko, di manito ba yun? Ay, malinaw. Sa malinaw, nag-aagi ako dyan. Ikaw akong nahihiling na mga school sa dahil pa talaga na-repair.
Okay po, salamat po RD and mabuhay po ang DepEd.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Luens of DCGB. Yan, tatawag pa po ako ng dalawa pa on-site before natin entertain yung mga magtatanong sa virtual natin participants. So, si Sir Alvin Lumapit of DWRL.
Marhay na aga po, sir. Ma'am. Ang concern ko lang po, ining mag-100% kita sa face-to-face classes next year, this coming school year. Ngayon po, mandatory ba sa mga aki na maging vaccinated sila? Kasi ito yung concern na pinapaabot sa amin sa radio.
Okay. Ang recommendation ng DepEd, preferably vaccinated. Pero ninulit na kulang mabagang supply ng vaccine para sa mga aki na ini. Dahil man kita nag-i-issue ng policy na mandatory na mag-face-to-face. Iyon po yan. Bakong mandatory. But we encourage na dapat vaccinated naman. Pero kung di talaga magpapaksin, we have to accept that.
Kaya adjustan sir na sa requirements na nalitan sa school matugutan na mag-face-to-face is yung percentage ng vaccinated.
Wala man percentage na requirement kung halimbawa 10%, 50% kang hakiman. Dahil man kita kaya ni policy na a certain percent of the learners ay vaccinated. Ang policy teachers na dapat na ma-handle kang face-to-face classes dapat fully vaccinated. And we are happy that nasa almost 100% na kita, karon 97% na ang teachers and employees. Di na sana ang dahil nagpapapaksin.
Okay, last tanong sir ito. Sir, ilang porsyento pa po ba yung mga kaakianta na as of now hindi mo susumpo sa records ng DepEd? Ilang porsyento po yung mga kaakianta na hindi po totoo magbasa?
Curriculum, can you respond?
Meron po tayo, thank you very much for the question. Meron po tayo ng data base po sa resulta na ipinalabas po na nakuha natin because of the CRLA or the Comprehensive Rapid Literacy Assessment. Now, this assessment was conducted at the beginning of the school year, meaning last year, nung nagsisimula po tayo September, October hanggang November. Kasi hindi lahat sabay-sabay na naibigay yung assessment because of the restrictions. At ang mandate po ng CRLA is for the learners, for the assessment to be conducted face-to-face. So medyo natagalan. Medyo malungkot ang resulta. For example, in grade 1, nakita po natin, sa mother tongue lang po ito, sa mother tongue, nangangailangan po ang 65.5% ng full refresher, meaning ng assistance, para po matulungan sila na ma-recover ang kanilang learning loss. In grade 2 po, sa mother tongue ulit, 52.69%. While in Filipino po, 52.12%. That's beginning of the school year na data. Sa grade 3 naman po, when the CRLA was conducted, medyo nag-improve naman. For example, in mother tongue, ang nangangailangan na lang po ng refresher ay 28.73% sa mother tongue.
Sa Filipino, ang nangangailangan po ay 27.83% ng close supervision. While in English, 18.95%. So ito po ang baseline ng regional office ng DepEd Region 5 kung bakit po binabalak ng ating regional director na i-intensify ang recovery plan on literacy and numeracy. Now we hope to get the data, the baseline data, to this end of the school year. Kasi nag-conduct ulit ang mga divisions ng assessment on literacy, covering mother tongue, Filipino, English, at numeracy po in mathematics para makuha namin kung may improvement. And when we gather that, yun po ang magiging basehan at the beginning of the school year sa interventions na gagawin natin sa ating mga mag-aaral in grades 1, 2, and 3. Thank you po.
Okay po. Salamat. At ang susunod po natin magtatanong is from the man from Veritas FM, Sir Rolly.
Thank you very much, Ma'am May. Spay RD siguro. Good morning, sir. Opo, recently, di pa man nag-assume ang mga officials maybe sa July 1 pa. Recently, may mga information kami, RD, about the implementation of the K-12 program kang gobyerno. There are some na sabi kaipuhan ki assessment. There are some na baka matugi for the coming days. Ano po ang masasabi nito ka ini? And ano ang magiging epekto tabi kay ni RD sa mga planong programa tabi nito, particularly itong learning recovery program kan DepEd 5.
Okay, thank you. Honestly, ini mga nagluluwas na yan, mga unconfirmed. So, ayaw pa man kitang nadamo direkta hali sa mouth kang sa kuyang maabot na administrasyon. Kaya patuloy pa po ang K-12. And then, there is already a law that mandates us to implement the K-12. Pagbatas na po yan, hindi mo naman yan basta ma-revise, mahali, kundi pwede mo maka-amend. Pero it will take time. Naka-install na sa ang sistema sa mga schools. Ngunyan, ang mga balita na yan, dahil na mo na pagtawan ni importansya, kada iba man talaga ni pronouncement ang maabot na administration. Baka kita masala sa mga ano. But refining of the curriculum is necessary. Arog na talaga kayan sa education. Continuous ang refinement kang curriculum. Pag ini-implement mo, you will always have encounter suggestions, problems, mga discoveries. Kaya ma-refine ka na naman kaya. Arog po kaya masasabi na. That will not affect our learning recovery plan.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Sir Rolly. Ayan, tawagin naman po natin ang magtatanong from the online platform. So we have Sir Christopher Novello of DWRL. Sir Chris. Okay. Sir Chris?
Hello po. Morning everyone. Good morning, Ivy.
Good morning, please. Yeah, Chris, continue.
Yes, RD, good morning po and sa mga pag-iba sa Legazpi. Sorry po na late po kaya ako maglaog sa press conference, but I would like to know if garo kasi po na-highlight lang yung numbers kan in-person classes. How about po si mga nag-module and si figures po 830,000 and 922 na nag-attend sa in-person classes. Pero ang percentage po ibigan total enrollees for the school year 2021 to 2022?
Hello, Chris. Itong present ni sa Indo, yung to see number of learners na nag-face-to-face. However, ining mga nag-face-to-face mo niyan, yung manini ang nagmo-module. And others na dahil pa nag-face-to-face. Kasi sa tuya, sa public schools, several learning modalities ang sa tuyang piga-adapt. Igual nag-go-online, alagad nagko-combine niya ng learning modules, tapos ining mga nag-face-to-face, most of them are also having modules.
Okay. Sir, next question po. Sir, since after the elections, umugong si talks about the review of the implementation of K-12 since the incoming secretary is yun yung sa mga priority niya. Sir, as the regional director po of the Department of Bicol, kamusta sir yung assessment na successful ba yung implementation ng K-12 sa Bicol region? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Although we don't have tool used to evaluate kung successful or not, basta ang sa tuyang basihan is we fulfill the commitment of DepEd na kita na-address naman itong mga curriculum entry, anong tawag na? Exit kang sa tuyang mga senior high schools, igwaning nagpapasiring sa college, igwa makita ng mga nakapasar sa TESDA na ready to the field of work, igwa man nagkaigwa naman ng sadiring negosyo, asin igwa kita ng mga nagkapirang eskwela na nagdumana sa abroad na na-hire. Ang nahiling ko kaya na mga ano sa press, sa Facebook, they are ready ang sa itong mga K-12 graduates for the world of work. Bakuman gabus na senior high school, big trained na ready sa magtrabaho. Ang may mga exit, curriculum exit, na apat bagayan, na ang graduate kang K-12, ready sa college, ready man na may matrabaho, ready man na magkikuha ng sariling trabaho, ready man na ma-accept sa abroad. So, daigabos na hanggang kita ng halimbawa sa mo, 100,000 na senior high school, it does not follow that these 100,000 senior high school graduates will go to the field of work. Only those who took TVL, Technical Vocational Livelihood Education, with NC2 certificate or anong tawag ng eligibility, national certification, ang qualified to be accepted sa trabaho. Kaya para sa Kuya Chris, we also deliver what is expected from us in the Department of Education.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you. Thank you, Mami. Thank you po.
Yes, Sir Chris, thank you. And okay, next through the question is from Media Works Communication, Mr. Bobby Lagalan. Sir Bob? Laba?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yes, good morning. Good morning po kay Director sa lunes po na yakan sa press conference. Despite things po this budget, na pinsabi na i-download sa mga division officers, the people source of law as for information ang distribution office of Southern City, may na-download na 5 million plus. But then, based po sa information from the teachers and sa ibang taga-division office, hindi po na-budget na 5 million gagamitin ka o ginamit ka ng division office to purchase gadgets. Now, the question is, hindi po bang pag-purchase ng mga gadgets is in line with the priorities ng LRT, regional office, director, substantive?
Yes, Bob. Saro yan sa mga item na pwedeng i-procure kang division na gadget for the first K-stage kang K-12 na duman ida-download si mga learning materials para iguaning magamit ang mga saruman po yan sa allowed na pwedeng gamiton itong kwarta.
Yes, allowed, siguro allowed siya. But then, the question is it among the priorities ng program? No? The fact na ang concern po dito is yung learning recovery ng mga aki. Now, ano pong gagamitan ito na gadgets nito? Kung ang mga aki, dahil nga nito ito magbasa, dahil ito magsurat. So, the question is, iyo ba talaga hindi ang sarap kang or pinaka-priority ng DepEd to purchase gadgets?
Hello, Bob. Di ako sa imo maka-argue as far as kung ano ang sa imo man na point of view kang priority. Kami sa DepEd, priority ang procurement kang self-learning modules, priority ang gadget, priority itong ibang mga communication equipment para magamit sa pagtugdo. Basta yan pong pagsasabi mong modules, human yan ang na-identify, ay yung gadget, human ang na-identify kang division na gagamitan ng kang kwarta para maitao sa mga grade 1 to 3 na gagamitan kang teachers para sa pagtugdo, sa reading, kang numeracy. Depende na po yan sa design kang learning recovery plan kang sarong division kang sarong school. Ako, I would like to tell you, we are also purchasing gadget for the schools in the last mile schools para matawan man sinda ning another learning materials para magamit sa learning recovery. May mga design po kita kaya kung paano tanaging priority, but majority of our fund will go to the procurement of the printed learning modules.
See, okay. So, saan po yung mag-ali, Director, ng mga printed modules? Would this come from the division of this or would this come from the national office or the regional office?
Actually, ang modules, tigibo ang central office na samuyang ipapaprint sa National Printing Office, a government agency, as in i-distribute yan sa mga division, as in ang division ma-distribute sa mga schools.
Okay. Saan yan po, Director? Hindi po ba ng mga modules na nasa printing na po mga process or kasi ang nasa ko na nagiging problema po before itong late download po, late na pag-download ng mga modules sa mga schools. No? So sa mga po nasa na process na po yung printing, Director?
Yes. Ang printing kang first quarter modules ay nasa NPO na, National Printing Office. Kaya nga sa government agency kita nagpapaprint ang aning mabilis ang dendakol na mga mga processes, agency to agency, government to government. nasa ano na po, nasa NPO na, kaya within a month, sabi nila, mapiprint nila yan, and then before opening na deliver na ang mga modules.
Okay, so thank you very much. Well, lastly, Alberto, yun ang hindi po na materials needed down po dito, hindi mga modules, would be enough po naman sa binakan mga projected students or pupils for the next school year.
Ang samuya pong procure para sa first quarter actually is para digdi sa budget na yan sa mo is good for 1:10. Ang ano po, ang mga schools naman, ang division, nag-procure na sila last year. Nagpa-print na. So we will just add modules para sa mga eskwela. By the way, ang tigurulayan tanong niyan, ang modules na ipapaprint me is grade 4 to 12. Kasi ang grade 2, kinder to grade 3, dig-download mi na ang kwarta sa division.
So yun na po ito na 5 million plus.
Yun na po ito. No po.
So Director, kung ito po na 5 million plus para sa Sunod City Division is para sa module printing, ano po niya nagagamit ang division na responsibility doon kung ang gagamitan po nila is pag-purchase ng mga gadgets?
Igual po sila ng dating na procure. So I think, Bob, I would advise you to ask the superintendent, kasi I cannot answer for the superintendent of Sorsogon City, kasi may inventory kami, Bob, kang mga available number of modules sa mga division. Kaya nga ni ang samuyang procure na tama sana sa this number na 1:10 dahil yan lang po ang kaya kang kwarta kan sa tuyang region. So, yan lang po. Kaya dahil ko masagot itong paano yung sa module ng city. Honestly, in our inventory submitted by the division, meron silang available na modules. Madagdag na lang kami. Sige po.
Thank you very much po, Director, and thank you very much po, Ma'am May and Sir Kevin. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sir Bob. Ayan. And for the next question from the Philippine Daily Inquirer is April Manhares. Kaya lang, baka hindi kaya ng kanyang audio. Siguro, basahin ko na lang po yung question, Hardy. Sino po ang target participants for the 8-week curriculum? May baseline data po ba on learning loss for Bicol?
Miss April, magandang umaga po. Thank you very much for your question. Diniscuss na po natin during the presentation kung sino po ang focus ng LRP. Uulitin ko po, baka hindi nyo po narinig. Uulitin ko po that we are focusing on grades 1, 2, and 3 na meron po, base po sa assessment, ay meron or nag-experience ng difficulties along literacy and numeracy. Now, as of this time po, ang naging basehan ng desisyon ng ating regional director para po i-implement ang learning recovery plan sa grades 1, 2, and 3 ay ito po ay dahil sa resulta ng comprehensive rapid literacy assessment na isinagawa po at the beginning of the school year last September to December 2021. So nakita po doon, sinabi ko po kanina, yung mga figures ng mga reading difficulties ng ating mga learners from grades 1, 2, and 3 along mother tongue, Filipino, English, and English po. So medyo mataas po siya, understandably, because of the distance learning na hindi natutunan ng mga bata ang dapat na natutunan nila kung sila regularly ay nasa loob ng classroom. So yun po ang rason kung bakit mag-i-implement tayo ng Learning Recovery Plan. Now sa ngayon po, as we end the school year 2021-2022, nagsasagawa ngayon ang mga divisions ng another assessment at yun ang tinatawag na end of the school year assessment sa CRLA at kasama na po dito ang assessment on numeracy. And we hope to be able to get the data as soon as the divisions are ready to submit their data and consolidate it once again. At yun po ang CRLA at numeracy assessment tools ang gagawin nating basehan dun sa intervention para sa mga kabataan o mga learners natin in grades 1, 2, and 3 who have to undergo the 8-week curriculum when the school opens in August 2022. Salamat po.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Joanne, and thank you for the question, Miss April. Okay, tawagin naman natin yung mga ating on-site media partners for the question. First to ask is Sir Elmer Bandol of Bicol News Express.
Good morning po, Madam. Madam Jo Iraray, because how did you arrive to this 40% literacy loss during the past pandemic? And then how was another 40% attained na literacy loss? What is your formula? Is there a mathematical formula?
Sir, hindi po siya 40% ng Region 5 lang ng Bicol. It's a global statistics po based on research. Hindi po. What the research is saying is that globally or regularly, pag ang mga kabataan po, wala sila sa classroom, yung extent ng learning loss sa bawat taon na wala sila sa classroom ay umaabot na 40%. So that means, sa loob ng 2 taon, nadodoble siya. That becomes 80%. Kasi hindi nila namamaster ang dapat na competencies na namamaster nila sa bawat grade na nandun sila. Hindi po siya, sir, specific. Sana po hindi kami ma-misquote. This is not specific for Region 5. It is a global findings based on research na generally, pag ang mga kabataan natin wala sa classroom, they lose 40% of the competencies that they are supposed to master kung nasa loob sila ng classroom. Thank you very much po.
Okay. This learning loss plan was formulated behind these numbers. Iniisip ko kasi kung ang Region 5 ay nakapag-isip ng formula how to recover the learning loss of the children, maaring ito rin ay problema nationwide because nationwide ang pandemic nangyari. Pwede ba ito i-adapt the entire DepEd? Because that's an honor for Region 5. It takes an IQ and a higher EQ to formulate this recovery plan.
Thank you, sir. Honestly, we have observer from National Capital Region and Region 3 when we formulated the LRP, the Learning Recovery Plan. And sa ngayon po, naggagawa na rin sila ng kanilang Learning Recovery Plan dahil nag-observe sila sa atin on how we make the Learning Recovery Plan. Kaya we are happy and we are proud and happy na sabihin na tayo ang nag-start at sumunod na ang ibang mga region.
Thank you. Nagporma pa nito ay mga sino ba mga stakeholders dito?
Sir, napaka-lawig. It took us 4 months para mabuo ang Learning Recovery Plan. We started early February po and we only ended last June. Now, isinagawa po ang Learning Recovery Plan ng DepEd Region 5 in partnership with ABC Plus project. Ang ABC Plus po is a USAID funded na project, and fortunately, ang Region 5 po is a beneficiary ng project ng ABC Plus. At dito po sa halos apat na buwan na pagsasagawa, pag-develop namin ng Learning Recovery Plan, we engaged our schools division offices. Meron kami ng tinatawag na LRP Core Team. Sino po ang composition nitong LRP Core Team? Ang mga superintendents po, schools division superintendents, then assistant schools division superintendents, ang CID chief ng bawat division, tapos meron po sila ng kasamang public schools district supervisor, isang school head, at isa pong key teacher in the division. Now, all together, they sat with us in a series of workshops that we did for several months until nabuo po itong Learning Recovery Plan. At sinabi po natin kanina, in May 2, when we formally launched the Learning Recovery Plan, na present po ang ating central office and other stakeholders, nag-present po ang 13 divisions through the schools division superintendents ng kanilang mga respective na division Learning Recovery Plan. And what's good about it is that hindi po huminto ang mga divisions. Sa ngayon po, ang mga divisions natin ay nagsasagawa na ng mga school learning recovery plan. Because in the end po, ang implementation ng learning recovery plan would find their place inside the schools. Sila po ang implementers. And napakahalaga that we work together uniformly para maisagawa natin ang learning recovery plan. So kung makikita niyo po yung track natin, we started from the region down to the division at ngayon po sa school level na ang learning recovery plan so that they can start implementing the programs by the start of the school year, this coming August. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Joanne, and thank you, Sir Edgar. Next to throw the question is Sir Mar Mendez of SIT FM.
Salamat po, Mami, Sir, Ma'am. Ingat po, congratulations. So, sa first na nag-implement ang LRP sa national, sa bagay from yung first ang DepEd Bicol. Kanina ipala ko lang yung question doon ng source of goal. Pili ko kayong matawag ki data naman sa downloaded na fund per divisions. And then, yung funds ba yun, ilang percent para doon sa mga learners and then sa mga teachers?
Yeah, we will provide you the funds downloaded to the different division amounting to 225 million. So, baraba po yan, equitably distributed sa 13 division. Pag salit ang division, salit man ang amount. Pag dakula man. Diba? Sa base sa enrollment. Okay. Payo kitang tiglaan na percentage sa estudyante, percentage sa maestra. Basta gagamitin yan for their learning recovery plan on how it will be operational. Base sa plano Manila. Kaya we will provide you. Siguro we will ask, wala kasi dito si Grace, yung in charge ng fund. Nasaan si Grace? Nasa development ng AP curriculum. But we will give it to the PAO kay Ms. Mayflower.
Since yung nagsisimula na po yung implementation ng LRP natin, maaba na ba yung hanggang 2025? Maaba na ba yun? O ito na ba ay udyat ng endemic?
Actually, ang 2025, target lang yan, within 3 years, makarecover tayo, mapaayos yung learning ng bata. Pero in 1 year maayos, then it's good. Kumbaga sa ano lang yan, we give allowance for this grade 1 to grade 3 and even up to higher grades na ma-recover itong learning loss. Makatama sa saindang grade level where they should belong.
So, ibig sabihin po, RD, yung face-to-face natin, tuloy-tuloy na yan.
Yes, we hope na wala ng bagong variant. How I wish that Megatron will no longer send his allies to the world or to Earth. Kasi si Omicron tapos na, baka may bago na naman.
Thank you po.
Thank you. Pasensya na, nag-inject ako ng transformer.
Transformers. Ayan, thank you, Sir Mar. With our partner station, Bicol Idol FM, si Reynard.
Good morning po, RD, and sa mga Sir Kaiman. Good morning po. Tanong ko lang po, clarify ko lang po kay Sir Ibanez po. Kasi yung sa ano po kasi, yung completers natin expected is nasa 547,635. Ito po ba, Sir, 100% po ba ito?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ito yung mga current natin na kinder, grade 10, grade 6, and grade 12.
So,
expectedly, 100% mag-complete, mag-graduate sila this school year. 547,635.
Thank you. And kay RT ma'am po.
Sasabihin ko na sana, I love you, may tinanong kay ayun pala ako naka-reserve.
Update lang po RD kasi last time is almost na din, 100% na rin yung sa vaccination ng mga DepEd teachers ng teaching staff. Naabot na po natin yung 100%.
Honestly, hindi pa. At least remaining 3% talagang we're still encouraging them. Nasa 97 na tayo.
Ano po yung mga factors kung bakit hindi pa po nakakapagano?
Una, may religion. Iba daw ang religion nila, bawal. Pangalawa, yung health, may mga sakit na kung ano. Ako, sabi ko, may sakit din ako, pero sige lang, but it will take time to encourage people na medyo negatibo. Pero hindi namin pinipwersa. But we are praying na sana magbago na sila ng pananaw na safe naman.
And yung ano po, next, kasi aside from modules, online learning, gumagamit na rin po kasi tayo ng broadcast media platform para po maipa sa mga bata yung mga modules. So sa inyo po RD, gaano po nakatulong ito and ano po yung assessment mo?
Actually, meron tayong TV, meron tayong radio. Ito ay malaking tulong to reach those place, lalo na ang radio. Mas ano kayo sa mga far-flung areas. Ito ay at least they have their modules, narinig pa nila on air yung explanation ng teachers, malaking tulong yun. So we will continue with our partnership with the local radio station, and of course the DepEd TV production will be continued.
And lastly na lang po, kasi plano po ni incoming Secretary Sara Duterte na i-implement yung or i-push yung mandatory ROTC. So ano po yung stand niyo about this?
Sa ngayon wala pa akong stand.
Or thoughts na lang po, like sa inyo po ba pabor kayo na i-implement to?
For me, kung ROTC, clarify natin, ito ba yung pang-college o pang-high school? Kasi kung pang-high school, wag RO, CAT lang. Pero kung pang-college, dapat sa college ang ROTC. Yun.
Sige po.
Pero wag mo akong iko, papasabihin ni Vice President Sara, Tanggalin na yan dyan siya.
Thank you po. Sige po.
Sige, thank you.
Thank you, Sir Reynard. Ayan. So, balik po tayo doon sa ating mga online participants for the discussion. And tawagin po natin si Miss Ellen Buena of Brigada News FM Bicol.
Okay, good morning everyone. Ellen po from Brigada News FM Bicol. I have a question po. Since po nag-implement na po tayo ng face-to-face classes sa elementary and high school, required na po ba talaga or required na po ba sa mga estudyante, especially sa mga elementary students, ang magpabakuna bago po pumasok sa klase or even face-to-face po? Required na po ba sila?
Hello, Ellen. Good morning.
Good morning po.
Okay. Honestly, hindi natin nire-require ang mga bata na hindi natin nire-require na ang bata dapat vaccinated para makapasok sa paaralan. We only encourage na kung maaari, magpabakuna. Pero kung ayaw talaga magpabakuna dahil yun ang utos ng magulang, hindi tayo magpupwersa at sila ay makakapasok. Oo.
Okay.
Ay, by the way, I'd like to add, baka hindi mo na tanong, yung senior high school na on-the-job training, di ba? May senior high school tayo ng OJT. Ito ang nire-require natin magpapakuna kasi pupunta sila sa ibang opisina na kailangan din nire-require ang vaccination card. Malinaw po ay nandiyan pala si Doc. Dapat pala si Doc ang nagsagot.
Thank you po so much, RD. How about po sa target po natin ng full implementation po ng face-to-face classes? Kailan po yung target po natin or specific po na date or kung meron man po na kailangan po natin na i-fully implemented po yung face-to-face classes? Is it possible po ba this coming school year po or by next year?
Hello, good morning. Okay, so yung sa face-to-face natin, wala naman yan kung ngayon sila mag-apply dito, magpadala ng SDO sa kanilang the name of the schools kasi yung ating sa public schools, po yun, validated na ng ating SDOs ang mga public schools na nag-apply for face-to-face classes, so ipapadala namin dito sa RO, and then titingnan din namin doon kasi Google Form po yan padala ng central office. So anytime po, basta may padala ang ating SDOs, may submission sila, binabalidate ng RO through the Quality Assurance Division, both public and private schools po yan. So anytime po, basta mayroong input doon sa Google Form, automatic po yan, pag qualified po, pipirmahan ni RD ang recommendation na to open face-to-face classes. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. How about po sa mga classroom po in Catanduanes during po itong typhoon Rolly last year or 2020, kung di ko nagkakamali, ilang percent na po yung fully constructed na po na mga classroom na pwede na pong gamitin for face-to-face classes po?
Hello, Ellen. As I articulated earlier, wala kasi dito yung sa physical facilities. Pero sinabi ko, we were given 1.2 billion from the QRF, sorry, Quick Response Fund na 1.2 billion, ang almost 600 million nasa Catanduanes. Nag-implement na po ng repair, kaya po we pray and we hope na most of the classrooms damaged by typhoon na pwedeng i-repair ay na-repair na po. Pero I'd like to honestly admit, wala po akong data sa ngayon about how many classrooms were already repaired, how many classrooms were already constructed. Lalo pa tayong naapektuhan kasi Ellen ang naka-apekto ngayon sa 2022, yung implementation ng Mandanas ruling. na ang construction of classrooms para sa first, second, third, fourth class municipalities and cities ay sa LGU, while the fifth in the sixth class municipalities sa national office. So, kaya medyo hindi ko masabi ang number of classrooms. But with the amount of 600 million na binigay sa Catanduanes, we are praying na marami na siyang na-repair.
Pero nag-implement po sila ng face-to-face classes po.
Yes. Catanduanes, may we know? And then, ang sa Catanduanes, public schools, nasa 98.51% ang nag-implement ng face-to-face. Meaning, mga 264 schools ang nakapag-implement. So, ibig sabihin, na-repair na yung mga damaged na classrooms. Okay?
Okay po, yun lang po sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Miss Eden. Now, Miss Rice Barsha of Rappler.
You're right.
Miss Rice. Hindi pa yata ready? Kung hindi pa po ready si Ma'am Rice.
Good morning. Sorry, apologies. Rides here.
Sige po, ma'am.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Tanong ko lang po, ano po yung assessment ng DepEd sa blended and modular classes na implemented in 2020 to 2021? How does the student cope up with the, lalo na po sa reading comprehension?
Sige, Rice. Akala ko kaibigan kita, bakit ako ang tinatanong mo? Hindi, joke lang. Ibigay ko muna sa CLMD kay Joanne.
Thank you very much for the question po. Yeah, meron po kami ma'am ng dinivelop, kakatapos pa lang po, na assessment tools on the implementation of blended learning. Now, ginawa namin siya in recognition that we have to assess how blended learning impacted on our learners. Kailangan natin po ng assessment. So nag-pilot utilization kami ng assessment tool on blended learning, and we are just finalizing yung mga gray areas during the finalization, and we'll be ready to distribute the assessment tools, the monitoring and evaluation tools on the implementation of blended learning in the 13 divisions. Now, hopefully, very soon, we will be able to come up with a very comprehensive assessment on how we fared on the implementation of blended learning. And it covers all areas. Na-cover po ng monitoring and evaluation tool na dinevelop namin ang lahat ng areas. For example, on curriculum, on assessment of learning outcomes, even an assessment for the home learning partners, an assessment for the learners, assessment for teachers implementing blended learning. So we hope to be able to share that very soon. Basta po matapos lang po namin yung finalization at yung guidelines on the utilization of the M&E tools for blended learning. So we will keep you po updated. And napakahalaga po nito so that we would be able to learn lessons on the implementation of blended learning. We also wish to highlight best practices on how we adapted, how our schools, the school heads, teachers adapted to blended learning, and also to be able to standardize the implementation of blended learning, because we're seeing that the implementation of blended learning would happen for several more years. So, gagamitin na siya na parang a sort of a modality in education, not only in basic education, but more so in higher learning. So, the results of the assessment would also allow us to refine our systems and procedures in the implementation of blended learning. Thank you very much, po.
Ma'am, during the course of a blended learning system, among the 6 provinces of Bicol, meron po ba kayong nakita na best practices implemented by the teachers, by parents, the learners?
Yeah, oo. Nung nagsimula, Ms. Rice, ng implementation ng blended learning, we've been continuously monitoring the implementation. Now, we could highlight several, but I'll give you one. I'll give you one because we've just been there. There is a school in Camarines Norte Division. It's a senior high school, stand-alone school, Camarines Norte Senior High School. They have an exemplary implementation of blended learning in coordination with their partners. Doon sa school na yon, nangyayari ang hybrid learning. Napakaganda po ng ginawa ng eskwelahan na yon because the principal connected with the parents and stakeholders at napakalakas po ng internet nila. It's a senior high school na nag-focus sila sa offering sa STEM. So, napakaganda ng kanilang hybrid learning wherein in-upgrade nila ang kanilang internet connection and the learners can stay at home and engage in classroom discussions because of hybrid learning. So, those are innovations na nakita natin. That is one example. And of course, sinabi na po ng ating director kanina na maraming inadapt ang ating mga divisions such as yung TV-based instruction, yung radio-based instruction, even podcast lessons. So those are innovations that our divisions adapted along blended learning. And in fact po, last week lang, ni-recognize po ang Legazpi City, Tabaco City, and Ligao City ng Central Office because of their innovations on TV, yung DepEd TV implementation sa Tabaco and Legazpi, ang radio-based po instruction sa Naga City, at saka ang podcast-based lessons sa Ligao City. So these are affirmations that in Bicol, sobra nating na-maximize ang mga innovations ng blended learning. And all of these modalities help a lot in assisting teachers in the instruction in blended learning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Sana po magkaroon ng farm tour for this exceptional schools like in Camarines Norte or feature stories. Suggestion lang. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys. Sige, pag-aaralan natin yan ang tour na yan kasi baka an additional expenses pa. Pero we are happy that we have a lot of innovations along blended learning modalities adopted by the schools. Sige po. We will consider that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rights, and thank you, Ma'am Joanne and Sir Ardy. Ayan, from UNTV, Ms. Venus Palges.
Hello, good morning sir and
Good morning,
Sir Ardy,
Venus.
and good morning everyone. My question po, sa presentation po kanina, pinakita ko na almost 83.18% pa lang po sa public school nag-participate po sa ating pong face-to-face classes. Yung remaining 12%, ano po ba yung reason bakit hindi pa po sila nakapagsasagawa ng face-to-face classes?
Thank you for your question. Hindi ko na po ang pangalan ng question. Si Venus. Okay, yung tanong mo, tama po, 83.18% lang tayo sa public schools yung nagpa-participate sa face-to-face classes, yung sa progressive expansion. So, yung remaining percentage, so yun po, actually, yung nasabi ko kanina, nababa naman natin yung policy sa SDOs and we are waiting for the compliance sa public schools, both public and private schools, to be submitted by their SDOs and to be validated by the RO through the Quality Assurance Division. So, alam naman ninyo na meron tayong yung ESA, School Safety Assessment Tool. So yun po ang pinakakasihan ng ating SDO Composite Team para masabing compliant ang isang school. Public and private po yan. The same po ang guidelines na ginagamit. So sa ngayon, wala pa kaming na-inventory kung ano ba ang difficulties na itong remaining percentage on the compliance to the requirements doon sa safety tool. So ang ang hinihingi lang, kasi nasa alert level 1 and 2 pa, basta may alert level pa, hiningi pa talaga yung LGU concurrence. Yung sa ni local chief executive, and then my parents consent. So yun na, baka nakakaano pa yun yung pag-consent ng parents, kaya medyo yung iba na dinilay sa opening. And then, yun nga, yung sa private schools, baka yung sa di natin i-assume na yun talaga ang dahilan. Yung vaccination status of the school personnel, kinukuha din yan. Kailangan po yun. So sa ngayon wala pa kaming yung pinaka-basis talaga para masabi natin na yun ang dahilan bakit hindi pa tayo naka 100% both public and private schools. Thank you po.
Ma'am, possible po ba na this next school year po, yung ating pong mga public school dito po, maging yung private ay makapagsagawa na po lahat ng face-to-face classes? Ano po yung paraan na ginagawa po ng DepEd Bicol para matulungan yung mga school na ito?
Okay. In addition to what Ms. Jody here told you, Venus, kung bakit hindi pa natin na complete na 100, unang-una siguro ang problema nila is non-compliance to the SSAT, yung School Safety Assessment Tool. Baka meron doon mga problema, and which we will know pag nagkaroon tayo ng pagkakataon na tanungin itong mga schools, remaining schools. Ngayon, another is kung sa private schools ang pagbabasihan natin, meron din akong nakuhang information na hindi sila makapag 100% ng face-to-face because of the cost, gasto. Kasi po noon, halimbawa may 50 learners ka in one grade, isang turuan yan, isang classroom yan. Pero dahil sa limited face-to-face policy, hindi mo pwedeng ilagay ang 50 mag-aaral sa isang kwarto. Pwede mong hatiin o pagtatluhin. Kaya it will take a lot of cost sa ating mga private schools. Sa ating naman public schools, meron ding problema probably on the part of the siguro teacher din, at saka yung facilities nila na hindi pa siguro, gaya ng sabi natin, hindi pa nare-repair yung mga classrooms. That could be one reason. Pero hindi pa tayo magbibigay ng conclusion na yun talaga ang pinaka-reason. But I anticipated na yun ang magiging rason. Ngayon, ano bang tulong ang maibibigay natin sa mga public schools na hindi pa nakakapag face-to-face? Una, linawin muna natin, sila ba ay pumasa sa School Safety Assessment Tool? Pangalawa, sila ba ay nabigyan ng support ng local government unit to do the face-to-face? Pangatlo, yung mga magulang ba ng mga bata doon sa lugar na yon ay pumayag na mag face-to-face? Kasi in the absence of one, hindi yan matutuloy. Kailangan itong tatlong ito ay makuha mo. Titingnan natin anong requirements sa school safety assessment ang na-fail ang isang school. At doon natin sila bibigyan ng assistance. Okay po ba? Yun, hindi pa natin masabing specific kasi hindi pa natin alam. We will come to that pag nakita na natin na wala nang pumapasok na mag-apply for progressive face-to-face learning.
Thank you, Sir Arnie. May question pa po ako. Ano po ba yung mga school po na dating ginawang COVID facilities, safe na po ba sila ngayong pagsagawaan po ng face-to-face classes po?
So far, lahat na po ng school na ginamit ng COVID quarantine, isolation area ay na-turn over na sa ating mga schools sa DepEd at ito ay disinfected na, kaya I would say safe na gamitin. Kasi from that time na ngayong bago mag-eleksyon, wala na tayong masyadong COVID positive or cases. Di ba, wala na? Kaya hindi na ginagamit yung mga schools as isolation facility.
Last question, Sir RD. Ano po ba yung
Sige lang,
ginagawang
dagdagan mo lang, Ben.
preparation? Ano po, sir, ang ginagawang preparation ng DepEd Bicol para sa next school year?
Sa ngayon, ang ginagawa natin preparation, una, itong ang learning recovery plan. Malaking portion ito na ang oras natin ay binibigay natin dito because we want to provide assistance to these learners na hindi ready sa kanilang grade level. Ngayon, bago natin na-implement yung LRP natin, gumagawa, sabi nga ni Ms. Joanne, ongoing ngayon ang literacy assessment ng mga schools at yung INA, yung numeracy assessment. Kasi ito ang magbibigay sa atin ng data. Ano bang estratehiya ang gagamitin natin para ma-address ang problema ng bata sa grade level na to? Okay? Pangalawa, ang ating mga ginagawa ngayon, siyempre nandito tayo sa mga year-end activities aside from the usual report, aside from yung mga hinihingi ng mga offices na kailangan isubmit bago magtapos ang school year, yun ang ginagawa ngayon. Yung sa next school year, more on learning recovery plan sa ngayon at saka yung face-to-face. Transition to face-to-face. Yan.
Okay, ayan. And tuloy-tuloy tayo with Miss Regina Pinado of Bicol Online TV. Ready na ba si Miss Regina?
Good morning, Heidi. Abot ka lang po, since yung tiga-agadan ko ba ng birth certificate yung mga papuran pang ate, ano po yung kasi di po yung natiga ako yung sa registrar office, ano po yung pinagkaiba kayo po?
Okay. Iyan kayang birth certificate, kaipuhan yan para correct ang entry ng teacher sa kanilang mga school form. Pero, lalo-lalo na duman sa mga marginalized sector niya itong mga pamilya na talagang nag-aki ng dahil na i-restro. Ang sa tuya dyan ginigibo dapat tabangan na ma-i-restro and then kasi ang required ngayon is PSA. So, tinatawan man yan yung panahon na makakomply. But kaipuhan, kung igawa ng birth certificate hali sa local municipal civil registrar, pwede na yan temporary akuon. Para sa ko, akuon na yan. Tapos, i-encourage pang parents na makakuha ka itong sa PSA. Kasi kung ano ang nasa LCR, yun man ang nasa PSA, di ba?
Yes.
Parang ganun yun. Alam mo, ang most of the times kitang nasa gobyerno, lalo na sa DepEd, more on kung ano nasa memorandum, yun talaga susunod na. Sige. But we encourage sa pwede man na you think outside, you make decision outside of the box.
Sir, last question na po. Since po nabanggit yung sa focus ng LRP na yung sa training ng teacher, ngayon po ba nag-undergo na ng training or workshop yung mga teacher para at least next school year prepared na din po sila?
Sa ngayon po, today actually, we are starting with the development of the 8-week curriculum. At kasama po dun sa package, ang sabi natin, curriculum, learning materials, assessment tools, and kasama din po dun sa package ang pag-design ng regional training of trainers. So we hope to be able to conduct the regional training of trainers on 2 batches. That's scheduled on July 18, 19 to 19, yung third week ng July 19 to 23, 2 batches po ng regional training of trainers. And we will be giving the division office to conduct the division mass training for grades 1, 2, and 3 teachers starting end of July up to the first 2 weeks of August. Now, dito po sa training, kasama po yung preparation na rin ng mga learning materials, assisting our grades 1, 2, and 3 teachers on understanding the underlying concepts of the 8-week curriculum, understanding also the strategies para po pag-open ng classes, ready na po nilang i-implement. Kasi ang mandate po nitong 8-week curriculum is ganito po. Week 1, assessment again. Mag-a-assess pa rin sila on specific difficulties. Weeks 2 to 9 would be the implementation of the 8-week curriculum, and on week 10 is the post-test, another assessment to determine progress of the learners. So we hope to be ready po prior to the opening of the school year.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Regina. And now we're down to the 2 last question, with one coming from Sir Roniel Llagas. Nasa online platform siya. Wala. Last question coming from our colleague from the... okay, Sir Ron. Sige pa. Nakamute ka po, Sir Ron.
Okay, ma'am. Tingin po. Okay na po, ma'am. Okay na po. Okay, magandang sa labi, sa lahat po. Magtatanong ko lamang po, sabi daw po ay magkakaroon daw po ng, sa mga mayroon daw po mga marka ng mga pupils na 75 to 79 o 79 below, ay mag-undergo daw po sila ng remediation. Yun po yung hindi walo. Ngayon po, kung sila po ay mag-undergo, kailan po ito, sino po ang mag-ano nito, ang mag-handle po nito?
Hello po, good morning. Yes, you are referring to, sir, to DepEd Order number 25, series of 2022, which is the implementing guidelines on the conduct of remedial and advancement classes during summer for the K-12 basic education program. So ito po is has been issued by DepEd Central Office as necessary in order to identify learners who are most in need of instructional support. And dito rin po sa DepEd order na to, they lay out the mechanism kung paano gagawin ang remedial classes during summer na para po ma-maximize ng ating mga schools through our teachers ang pag-address ng learning gaps. Hindi na po ito tinatawag na summer classes kasi hindi na summer ngayon. Ang tawag po dito, binago na because of the adjustments of the schedule of the regular classes, tinawag na po siyang end of school year classes. Now you're asking about sino ang mga eligible learners na dapat na nag-undergo nitong end of the school year classes. Ito po yung mga grades 1 to 10 learners na nag-fail po in more than 2 learning areas at the end of the school year despite the educational interventions given. So gusto namin i-highlight na what we're saying is that bago po i-fail ang mga bata because of out of the difficult circumstances, napakahalaga po na early on na-determine na ang mga difficulties nila at nabigyan sila ng sapat na educational interventions. Now, despite of these efforts na hindi pa rin nila kaya, sila po ang mga learners na bibigyan natin ng remediation through the end of the school year classes na imamanage po ng mga eskwelahan. Now, another set po ng mga learners na eligible dito sa end of the school year classes ay yung mga estudyante po from grades 1 to 11 na pumasa nga po sila but they got grades ranging from 75 to 79. At dito po, dinidescribe po natin sila as fairly satisfactory, pero kailangan pa rin tulungan. Hindi po remedial ang ibibigay sa kanila. Ang tawag po doon ay enrichment classes para mas higit na matulungan po sila para ma-acquire ang mga skills na kulang at para po maging ready sila for the next school year on the higher level na papasukan po nila this coming school year. Thank you very much po.
Okay. Ito po yung katanungan po natin. Sinasabi po meron tayong itong LRP nga po. At sinasabing sa 8 weeks curriculum po natin, kung saan ang mga guro po ay sasala po sa mga intensive training. Paano, meron po bang programa ang ating departamento para po sa mga patungkol po sa kalusugan ng ating mga guro since sila po ay sasama po sa mga trainings, mga workshops ngayong ng bakasyon?
Kalusugan. Hello Ron. Ang tanong mo ay programa sa kalusugan. Ang DepEd ay makapagbibigay lang ng mental health and psychosocial intervention activities. Yan naman ay ginagawa na sa mga division offices kasi sila yung direktang merong control sa mga teachers. And we're hoping na implemented na yun. Yun po ang akin. Kung ibang health program, meron naman yung binigay na 500 pesos na yun, Dr. para sa check-up nila noong check-up nila. At saka yung PhilHealth na walang katapusan na PhilHealth.
Sir Ron, okay na po?
Last na pong katanungan, gusto naman po natin magkaroon ng paglilinaw tungkol po talaga sa sinasabing implementation po ng face-to-face. Ano po ba talaga ang design ito since na meron tayong mga vaccinated and then meron tayong mga unvaccinated. So paano natin ito po talaga i-reconcile ito mga ito para sa sunod na pasukan?
Okay. Ang implementation ng face-to-face ay hindi tayo magsisegregate ng mga bata na hindi vaccinated o vaccinated. Kasi that will be, anong tawag yun? Yung discriminatory. Maka-create ng another problem while there is already problem. Kaya we will continue to include them, whether you are vaccinated or unvaccinated. But we will limit the number of pupils or learners in one classroom. At meron lang kaming policy na ang teachers dapat yun ang vaccinated kasi ayaw natin na ang sisihin ang teacher. Kasi pag sinisi mo ang teacher, ilang araw yan, walang pasok kasi 14 days na quarantine, kung malala pa, mga 1 buwan. Kaya ang aming policy, ang teacher talaga fully vaccinated. Pero yung bata, dahil maraming parents ang ayaw magpabaksin ng bata, hindi naman natin sila pipilitin. But we will continue to encourage them. So ang design natin is that they will be in one classroom on limited number of pupils and on limited number of hours para sa isang klase. Hindi pwedeng the whole day nandoon sila. Or if ever whole day sila, hindi ibig sabihin whole week sila nandoon sa school. Mga ganyan design. Iba-iba pong design depende sa sitwasyon na gagawin ng mga school heads natin.
Okay. Maraming salamat po, Sir Andy, Ma'am Victor, sa inyo po lahat. At magandang umaga po. Mabuhay po ang DepEd.
Thank
Thank you, Sir Ron. And now, last question from our colleague from the Philippine Information Agency, Regional Office 5, Ms. Karen.
Good noon, a minute before the Karen po of PIA 5. My questions go to Ma'am Jo.
Thank you, Karen. I love you.
Allow me to seek clarification sa Ma'am. How much fund is allocated by the USAID for the implementation of the LRP?
For the implementation implementation of the LRP, let us just set the record straight. It is the DepEd Region 5 who's managing all of the undertakings along learning recovery plan, and that would mean allotting budget for the series of workshops and trainings that we have been conducting since February up to now and in the succeeding months. DepEd Regional Office po. So ano ang participation, ano ang role ng ABC Plus as our active partner in all of these undertakings? They are commissioning consultants, first-rate consultants, very good consultants po, in order to assist us. Now, this is one particular undertaking that we recognize we could not do alone. Sobra po siyang napaka-challenging. At we need to look into, kailangan namin ng ibang perspectives on how it would be done. Now, the very reason why we successfully developed the learning recovery plan is because we were given consultants to assist us. At yun po ang part ng ABC Plus doon sa ating development ng learning recovery plan, and even now in the development of the 8-week curriculum. So sila po ang nag-handle ng professional fee ng ating mga consultants. So doon po sa learning recovery plan, we had 2 consultants. They were given to us. At sa ngayon po, we will again work with three new consultants, and they are being shouldered all of their professional fee, yung travel expenses and everything. Ang nagpo-provide po ang ABC Plus. Ang binibigay lang po natin ay yung ating accommodation po para sa mga consultants. Now, another support that they're giving is the learning materials. Now, ABC Plus, for your information, is our partner in Region 5, and they are actually helping us in the development of the different learning resources in grades 1, 2, and 3, particularly in mother tongue. So yung mga learning materials po na na-develop nila through the years, na nakikita natin na magagamit on literacy and numeracy. During the launching po, last May 2, formally tinurn over ng ABC Plus itong lahat ng materials na to para magamit exclusively ng Region 5 sa lahat ng classrooms. Kasi hindi po lahat ng divisions sa Region 5 ay parang target na divisions or beneficiaries ng ABC Plus. But for the purpose of the learning recovery plan, they are allowing all 13 divisions, the 6 provinces and 7 city divisions, to utilize the learning materials that they have developed for the past 3 years para po magamit sa ating mga classrooms. Pero po yung funding, si Director po, napaka-generous niya na sinasabi niya, bigyan natin ito ng priority, i-boost natin lahat ng resources natin para maisagawa natin ang mga plano natin along the learning recovery plan.
Thank you, ma'am. But can I have the amount?
Parehas po ng sinabi ni Director, ang aming pong partner, si Miss Grace, ang nag-handle po nitong funds, and they will be made available to you po through our PAW. Yun po sinabi ni RD. Yung funding daw po, sir, ng implementation.
Ayun. Actually, sabi ko kanina, we downloaded 225 million to the 13 divisions for this for the implementation of the LRP. Yun.
Thank you, RD. Thank you, ma'am. Second question, ilan po, alongside the implementation of the LRP, how many trainers are being or to be trained for the regional training of trainers or DepEd personnel?
For the regional training of trainers, we have divided the 13 divisions into 2 batches. Now, we're looking into training 95 trainers per batch. So, meaning, 95 plus 95, that's 100.
Over 200 teachers.
Hindi, 95 plus 95 is yun. So, yun. So, 2 batches po yun.
Region-wide.
Yes, region-wide. We have given slots per division depending on the size of the division. For example, in Camarines Sur, they will have the most number of trainers because they have 4 congressional districts. there will be 26 na trainers. So, naka-divide ang ating trainers equitably in the different divisions. We consider the size also. And we hope that after we're done with the RTOT, yung regional training, sila po, yung core team na yun, ang magkakascale yung curriculum dun sa division level when they conduct the mass training at the end of July up to the first 2 weeks of August.
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, so much has been said, but I have one last question to RD. What could be your message of support to the next secretary as to how the DepEd Bicol will work with her administration?
A message of support. We have more than 100% support to the incoming secretary, just like what we gave to the previous secretaries we have had in the Department of Education. We will see to it that learners are the most priority of the Department of Education in Bicol. The welfare of the learners, the learning achievement will be the priority of our DepEd Bicol. Thank you.
Thank you and congrats.
Thank you, Ms. Karen, and thank you, RD. Yan, for those questions na gusto pa po natin iparating siguro after na lang ng ating because we have a very limited time now. It's already 12 noon, but before we end this conference, may we request again our Regional Director, R.D. Gilbert, for a short closing message.
Hello everyone. Thank you very much for the support to the Department of Education Region 5. The authentic partnership we are having is a manifestation that DepEd RO5 and the media are open to anything that we practice transparency here. Anything you ask, we answer. So we hope that we will continue this partnership with the different media for the benefit of our learners. We cannot soar high without your support. Thank you, media people. Thank you, everyone.